So, what is the price of life? How much does it cost to actually survive? Guys, this is Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalists. And given that we're talking about survivalism, there needs to be an understanding as of how much does life cost. And if you want to make the video super short, it's about 10,000 bucks, right? If you have 10,000 bucks, your life may be spared. Right. Before we go on, remember that if you want to learn more about what I do here, realistic preparedness and survival, you have the channel with a ton of information. You can ask all the questions you want in the comments below. I'll do my best to address any questions that you have or any topics you'd like me to cover in future videos. But I always recommend my books as well, Surviving the Economic Collapse, based on my experience of going through just that in Argentina, as well as street survival skills. It's a lot of years, guys, about learning about survival, preparedness, taking classes, going through things myself, learning along the way, and all of that is in these three books. There's another one, it's called Bugging Out and Relocating, which may be a lot more relevant to this stuff. Yeah, Bugging Out and Relocating is an interesting one because it's one of those books that I honestly think is maybe one of the more important ones, because this is really what it comes down to. Now, this is super practical stuff, but when it comes down to, you know, the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is not zombies. The worst case scenario is not shooting it with a bad guy. No, this is the worst case scenario. You're fucked. You're royally fucked. You're stuck in a strip of land that is being bombed, and you're screwed. Now, yes, this is what's happening in Gaza, and of course all of the political stuff that, you know, I cover the political stuff because I think it's important, but make no mistake, this isn't exclusive. It's not the first time that this has happened. And as I was explaining before when I showed my own books, it's because I do this for a living. This is my profession. This is what I've been doing for many years now, and I like to think that I'm kind of good at it, and part of that is doing a lot of research, stuff like this. Like, for example, the Sarajevo Survival Guide. This is a difficult one to get. If you find the survival guide of Sarajevo, good luck, my man. It's not exactly easy to find, and it's not exactly cheap. Another good one is Blue Helmets, Black Markets. Very interesting how these things go down. But when you read this kind of stuff, you learn that this is not unique. And it's about that. Super short version, 10,000 bucks. You can't negotiate, you know. We start talking about this. So if you have maybe 5,000 and I really need the money and I'm in the position of letting you through, okay, maybe we can make a deal. What if you have a Egyptian passport, right? Somehow. Nationality, you got it somehow, you have the passport. Well, I mean, yeah, you're Egyptian, but you're in fucking Gaza and you want to get to the Egyptian side, you better pay me 650 bucks or 1,000 bucks and $1,200, right? How about that? $1,200 and your life is spared. This has happened in the case of Sarajevo. Anyone that remembers, let me know in the comments. I think it was about 10,000 German marks. And I think it's very close to that. Let me know if I'm wrong with that. But about 10,000 marks in 1996, give or take? 1990 something? Anyway, I don't remember. But at that time, 10,000 marks was, I'm pretty sure, on the ballpark of about this. 10,000 bucks, 5,000 bucks. Not really a lot less. Now, I was reading these articles. That's all very interesting. Palestinians desperate to flee Gaza pay thousands in bribes to brokers. So yeah, you're stuck there, right? You have 9,000 bucks in 3 weeks. You have to pay an extra 3,000 for a child, and it's all negotiable, right? It depends on. And it used to be, this is very interesting, it used to be 500 bucks. Again, keep in mind, Gaza has been an open-air prison for a long time. In case you're not familiar with this, the lies on the media, no, the truth is that place is fenced. You have armed Israelis all around, and there's not a bag of cement or a bag of sugar that goes in or out of that place without the blessing of the Israeli government. Anything else you heard is complete bullshit. That's the way it's been for fucking years. These people don't really have much of a choice of that. They're not going to be organizing, rockets launching shit from the moon. No, you're kind of dirt poor, and this is the hand you've been dealt. But what I'm going at here is, this has been the case for a long time. The siege, the isolation of the Gaza Strip, being an open-air prison, that's been the case for a long time. But it used to be that it was not being blown to shit as it is right now. Now it's becoming very desperate. But back then, with $500, you got out of there, right? So again, it's offer and demand. It depends on how critical things are. Right now, it's going to be $10,000. If you had left back when it was not as deadly as it is now, maybe for $500 you would have left. Now, having gone through these sort of things, having learned through these years of experience and talking with our people, it is fucking human nature to think we're okay. We have our families here. We've lived here our entire lives. I'm not going to leave my home, my town, my ancestral grounds, even though they were probably displaced for somewhere else. Doesn't matter. But it is human nature to think, you know what? It's bad everywhere. Here, at least, we're together. We know these neighborhoods. I know people. Yeah, sure. Every once in a while, we get bombed. But you know what? You could easily get stabbed in wherever, right? In London. And you could get shot in Texas like it happened just yesterday, right? So this is how you convince yourself of, yeah, I'm not leaving. Things are bad, but not that bad. Eventually, yeah, unfortunately, it may end up getting that bad, but when that's the point, it's too late. Again, objectively analyzing these things from the perspective of survival and preparedness. This same mechanism happens for people in Venezuela. This same mechanism happens to people in Argentina. I talk with people from my own country, and they will tell you, oh, yeah, lucky you, because you know what? Now it's so much more difficult. Well, are you fucking getting bombed by the Israelis and you need to pay $10,000 for each person? Well, no. So it's easier for you than for people like these, for example. We always like to justify ourselves and think that, I don't really have a choice. Now, having said all of that, if you're happy wherever it is that you are, fine. But my point with this video is, your life is worth $10,000. For a guard, for an Israeli guard, for a Serbian guard, for a Egyptian guard, or some bureaucrat in Egypt or wherever the hell it is that you need to get a stamp or approval or a signature or whatever it is, historically it's kind of been this way. It's kind of like, yeah, $10,000. It was not all that different from when Jewish people were leaving Germany, until it got to the point where, yeah, you were definitely screwed. But before that point, if you had the right amount of money, you bought your way out of that. If you had a good amount of gold, if you had some resources, if you knew some people, if you left before it got that damn bad, if you left before it was, now you're not going anywhere. Now you're going nowhere. Now you're done. This is like in the movie, the Brooklyn Story. Where is it? That they go into a bunch of bikers go into the bar of the Italian mob, and the guy says, "Gentlemen, we ask you to leave." "Oh, we're not." Okay, and he locks the door and says, "Now you can't leave." He says, "Now use with an S. Now you can't leave," and he locks the door. That means you're done. You're fucked. Don't be the biker that gets locked into the bar by the Italian mob. Don't be that guy. Don't be this guy. Stay alert. Know what's going on in your country, your life. I have no clue, my man, what it is. But I do know this. I do know that there's a window of opportunity. I do know that money makes a huge difference. Probably a lot more than many of the things you often see related to survival and preparedness. This is a real deal. When it gets to this situation, or when it gets to stuff like this, yeah, you better have the stuff that I talk about in bugging out and relocating. A plan, a place to go, but above all, money. See you next time. Take care.